Welcome back to another market closing live stream. Wow. AMC is kicking butt today. And this is super exciting after we had Paul Tudor Jones this morning bait Reddit and retail investors. So we've got AMC pushing again. This morning we actually mentioned in the live stream, volume started stronger. First minute started stronger. Volume softens and stays stable, which was a perfect indication that we might see a jump in AMC. And folks, boom, that's what we got. AMC up right now 18.6%. Follows pretty consistent patterns when we look at AMC, which makes it a little bit easier to trade with. Volume, so important for AMC here. You can see it briefly fell below the VWAP here, but we did have a nice run coming out of the gate. Really kind of stabilized here, lower volume. Once we started seeing volume peaks or sort of bumps in volume, that's when we got these higher prices. Of course, volume falls, pricing comes down, volume goes up towards the close, pricing goes up. Pretty simple so far, and that's been a consistent pattern with AMC, which is very good news. So what else do we have? So we talked about that this morning. We also talked a little bit about repos yesterday, touched on that a little bit yesterday. Very important. We've got Lordstown down 18.62%. Still very concerned that when they do pick a new CEO and CFO, that one of the first things they're going to have to do is raise a bunch of money by selling out or by issuing new shares. See a comment here on FRX Forest Road. Forest Road back to 1021. We swung traded this one a little bit last week. Came out profitably on this one. I haven't opened any new positions today with the exception of a Coinbase position that we opened. It was some longer call options. Those are doing pretty well. We started those pretty early in the day, so I'm happy about that. But as far as looking for a momentum, I've been keeping an eye on exactly what's been happening. We've been relatively stable. For example, Corsair got picked up by Wall Street, and we got picked up by Wall Street Bets, that is. And all of a sudden, Corsair, boom, takes off like a rocket ship today. Was up around 30% in the morning, but did fall back down as at one point as low as 13%. At about 17% right now. It is about 17% short, and I think that's the enthusiasm that folks are looking for to determine, oh, okay, is this potentially another short squeeze opportunity here? So Corsair is one that's being looked at right now, though we'll see how long it lasts. There are plenty of stocks that are 17% short, and they're not seeing the same sort of momentum. What's more interesting, though, is sort of the boneyard, and the boneyard is something that we don't really talk about much. But look at the boneyard of Geo, for example, here. Geo was part of this momentum movement here in early June, did decently, exploded 44% up in one day. And then all of a sudden just goes tick, straight down. I mean, you have this real incredible fluctuation here in, let's do this here. Hold on one sec. There we go. You have this real fluctuation here in Geo pricing, and this is kind of a sort of a typical momentum movement. What you have in AMC right now is atypical. It is a momentum stock, but it is one that continues its momentum over and over again. Last, let's see, that wouldn't be last Friday. It would be 2 Fridays ago. And last Monday and Tuesday, I warned of a potential consolidation in AMC for a few days, followed by a rebound. Folks, it's literally what happened. Last week, we had, 5 days ago? So somewhere around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we got our consolidation, and now we're back up. Now we're running again. It's really good. This is what we expected would happen. It's literally what happened, which is very good. Shares are actually, that means we should be positive on our shares today, which is very exciting. Keep in mind, we've got, let's see here. Let's see where we stand right now. On our shares right now, we stand at, we sit at $82,000 right now, $83,000 with a basis of about 73. So obviously AMC printing some tendies for a lot of folks today. If you have shorter term calls, you're really killing it right now. The shorter term calls are going to be doing very well. I expect this sort of mention of momentum or in AMC to go through patterns of runs for a few days, pauses for a few days, runs for a few days, pauses for a few days. Personally, I think it's very important that we try to focus our buys on options on the red days, right here. But then since we don't know when we're going to dig out of those, generally, instead of going for weekly or shorter term calls, I recommend getting something like a Jan 2022. Obviously not financial advice. It's just sort of recommendation to myself. Do with it as you'd like. But as an opinion, I think having a little bit of a longer option is good, just in case if we go into a longer period of consolidation before another run, you're more protected. Remember Warren Buffett's rules of investing. Rule number one, do not lose rule number one, don't lose money. Rule number two, don't forget rule number one, which is awesome. Now, do you think $60 calls are hedged for? I'm assuming $40 are already hedged. Yes. Okay. So hedging, this is a Gamma Squeeze question. So essentially, once we get more and more calls in the money, is it possible that we're going to see more and more delta hedging? The answer is yeah, absolutely. And usually what happens is these things it's not like an on and off switch. I think of it more as a gradient. So, when AMC is up 5%, we get a little bit more hedging. When AMC is up 10%, we get a little bit more. When we're up 20%, we get a little bit more. And so you really want to think of hedging as a gradient. A lot of it, quite frankly, with Wall Street traders is done algorithmically and is done automatically. Once certain thresholds are hit, certain hedges are employed. I do believe that hedge funds are not going to lose like they did with GameStop. I think they're able to more properly hedge themselves. But in doing so, they're actually contributing to the movement, which is really incredible. So the more attention AMC has and the more of a laser focus there is on AMC, the better it really is for everyone. Now, that doesn't mean that distractions don't come up. For example, we had very profitable moves in Workhorse last week. Some of y'all made great money in Clove last week. I did not make money in Clove. I made lots of money in Workhorse, which I really, really like. But, this week we have a little bit more softness in some of these others. Let's see where they actually sit today. So Clover Health, Clover's down 2.3, 2.44, and it's been consolidating for the last 3 trading days here. So Thursday, Friday, Sunday. We've got Workhorse. Had a day of consolidation, kind of unsure where it's going to head today. It's sitting at about down 1.6%. FRX not really going anywhere. Root was another one that was very profitable last week. It's about 0.75% today, so pretty minor. So you could see these sort of distractions. They can come and go very quickly. And so, for example, I see a commenter here, wish to $20 easily. It's possible. One of the things you want to avoid, though, is riding a momentum stock for too long for when it doesn't have momentum. So one of the things you definitely want to keep an eye out for is remembering that momentum fades. At some point, momentum fades. And so that has happened over this last week to Root and Wish and Clove. The momentum fades. So you don't want to be in them too long. So you got to be careful. You got to be really strategic with how you invest in your in and your out. So, for example, there are a lot of folks, and this is one of the things I teach, don't freaking do it. Don't do it. One of the things I teach, whether it's in my courses or on this channel, which remember the 40% off coupon codes down below. It's the largest coupon code we've ever had. But anyway, what happens is you're like, oh, you don't know anything about Wendy's. And then all of a sudden the darn thing's up 20%. And you're like, oh my gosh, yes, Wendy's and the square burger patties. It's a godsend. It's the best stock ever. You FOMO in on the day here. It's up 21%. And then you get down. So you got to be careful a little bit. Thoughts on Bitcoin seeing 45 this week? It's a good question. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shorting that's been happening in Bitcoin, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some squeezing coming to cryptos, which I think is very good. I do think there's the potential of a lot of shorts reloading. And it's a little bit what you see right now, where you've got you did hit about 40. You barely hit $41,000 here, and we're sort of rotating back down here. I think this is a little bit of short seller reloading, and once you turn to Chris, how do you turn? Wait, what? Oh, hold on. Let me see this. Hold on here. Where'd it go? I don't know where your question went. I saw something about once. Oh yeah. Once you join the course, how do you chat when members are? There is no members only mode in the course. So when you're when you're a course member, that's different from a YouTube member. So YouTube member, you click the little join button. That goes to YouTube. YouTube deals with that. That's all with YouTube. If you want to be a course member, that's totally different from this chat here. But right now it's just on subscriber only mode. But usually I'm on member mode. But anyway, look at the biggest head and shoulder pattern I've ever seen on the one day. Let's take a look at that. One of the, yeah. Nice. Yeah, no kidding. Jeez, head, shoulder, shoulder. Wow, that's pretty incredible. Uh, yeah. So one of the things to keep in mind is it's possible that shorts are reloading their shorts here, and that as we go through the this cycle of potentially inflation inflecting down, I think there could still be some potential testing of the $19,000 to $21,000 range. I want you to know I'm extremely bullish about this is a very good Head and Shoulders, by the way. I'm extremely bullish about cryptocurrency. I do think it's the future. But I also, I want you to be aware that I think the road ahead is not going to be incredibly should I say, easy, especially if people identify this as a Head and Shoulders pattern, which remember is trader psychology, right? Trader psychology is that, if we can identify a pattern, we already know potentially what's going to happen next because other traders are going to believe that that pattern is going to fulfill itself. And guess what happens? And this is not like trying to be funny here or whatever, but a Head and Shoulders pattern starts with a breakup, left shoulder, head, neckline, right shoulder. What happens after the right shoulder, folks? What happens after the right shoulder? Let's draw it. Generally after, if it is a true Head and Shoulders pattern, you generally end up with a breakdown. That is possible. And it wouldn't surprise me to see this test by August, September. Hopefully not, because I don't want to see people down in crypto. I think it's very bad for the movement. And so I like it so hopefully this Head and Shoulders pattern does not hold true. But that's a good observation. So thank you for saying that in the chat. Now, the important thing here is you are going to get a reloading of shorts. That's very, very normal. So do I think BTC can hit 45? Maybe, but it's going to depend on shorts covering and getting out. And honestly, I think they're going to do some reloading. And that's just you got to know that as an investor right now. That's not me. I'm not saying sell. It's like taking advantage of the opportunity to buy. Just know we've got that volatility coming up. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Oh man. Oh geez. Some of the comments are funny. Okay. Well, yeah. Anyway, let's keep seeing what we got going on here. So let's go to the minute chart here on the AMC. Minute chart on AMC, pretty solid right now, pretty stable here, sitting between that 18 to 19%. What are my thoughts on Airbnb? Someone says. I'll take a look at that. So I think Airbnb is a recovery play that got a little overdone. And so I think what I mean by saying that this is a recovery play that got a little overdone, it's best to see it when you go to the day chart because you can see it's substantially unfrothed here. We had our IPO in December, and I really thought that this pricing, honestly, was a little on the high side, this IPO pricing. But take a look at the line that we drew. The line that we drew really had its strength over here. Look at that. We were slightly below it here. Now we're slightly above it here. We're very magnetic around this line here. This means, in my opinion, the market has told us the closer we are to $130, the safer or the least risky Airbnb is as an investment. So in my opinion, the most risky point is obviously this froth that we've had up here. And so is it possible that Airbnb is going to turn down more? I don't know. I mean, of course it's possible. I think this is a very, very strong support line here. I like Airbnb at this level. I think it does have a lot of recovery momentum in it. And I think that's probably its biggest risk factor is if people view Airbnb as a recovery play and we end up getting more of a tech push, consumer discretionary push, I don't know if Airbnb is going to be along with that ride. I do think that the least risky place to buy it is around this line, at least from what we've had. So we'll see. Airbnb, I wouldn't be opposed to buying it here. Let me quickly see a forward price to earnings on Airbnb. Pretty sure we've done this in the course, but I can't remember right now. So I'm going to quickly I would just want to look at projected earnings. And these are Wall Street projected earnings. Usually when I do my deep fundamental analysis, I do my own projected earnings. And then after I do my own projected earnings, I compare to Wall Street to see how we compared. But right now for 2025, we're selling for 54.6 times. We're selling for as expensive as a price right now as Tesla. Personally, I'd rather pick Tesla right now over Airbnb. And then I'd rather hedge my Tesla purchase with like Google. Is something that I'd probably do. So what else do we have here? Then we've got, let's go back to the sticks here, but good question. So well, let's see here. Is the course worth it? I appreciate you asking. I think it is, but I think you're asking other folks and not me. Yeah, U-Time is another one here that had a nice little run here and has really been collapsing here. This is why I'm saying you just want to be very, very careful with momentum, because momentum evaporates fast. Roblox actually had a very incredible run here. Look at how consolidated we were, folks. We IPO'd and we sat in the 60s for nearly 2 months. And then all of a sudden we get a rocket ship coming out of Palantir. I'm sorry, out of Roblox. And then we rotate to the downside is where we stand right now. Oh, thanks for saying the course is great, very user-friendly. Appreciate that. So we've got Lion Electric down 4.5. We got Churchill Capital rotating to the downside as well. A lot of you are mentioning Palantir, so let's go take a peek at Palantir. Palantir here, I'm assuming you're talking about the 1 minute. There's nothing happening in the 1 minute. We are at an even 25, which is very nice. So it's good to be at back to the good old days here on on Palantir. Palantir, boy, oh boy, has this one gone through the crap. Gee whiz. Yeah, look at just the garbage here that Palantir has been through, breaking through every meaningful level of support. I mean, look at this. We had triple touches over here, and we still rubber banded below. Absolutely incredible. And so you've got this phenomenal movement here. Obviously, this was hype and froth time. There were other YouTubers mentioning, hey, you know, this thing's $40 tomorrow. You got to buy it. And people are making videos on Palantir while it's going to the moon. I'm like, no, wait until it's at least under 30, if not under 25. Wait. When we started getting to 26, 25, I go buy. Bought all the way down to about $20 and built my position out. Held through the dip right here, so did most of my buying in this region right here. I'd probably say my basis is somewhere around 22, and now we're finally recovering a little bit. But this is normal. This is the cyclical nature of stocks. Things go in favor for a period of time, and then they fall out of favor for a period of time. It's so important to know that as an investor, because otherwise you're gonna freak out. Especially if you buy over here and it goes lower, you buy over here and it goes lower. You feel like you made a big mistake. You feel like, why did I invest in that? And it's just a matter of time for very quality companies to rotate back. And that's very important. AMC holding firm here into the close. No major running activity here in the last couple hours here. Mostly trading sideways here. We've got Riot Blockchain and a Marathon, not as high as they were earlier in the day. We did get a run of up to about 20% in the day. Did rotate back down as crypto started falling again. Folks, let me be very clear here. And this is one of the reasons I'm not like mega heavy on some of my crypto plays. Although I like Coinbase at these levels and I've added a little bit. I just want to be very cautious, because if we do get the realization of a head and shoulders pattern here, and we do get a low point of somewhere around 20,000 for BTC, I do think that Riot and Marathon and Coinbase, they will be at their all-time lows, as well as really anything crypto related. And this could be the ultimate time to do some really fat rotating over to crypto. Now, what's interesting is we might end up having, honestly, by the time this head and shoulders downward breakdown happens, which is no guarantee that'll happen, but if it happens in accordance with the pattern, it wouldn't be a surprise to see tech like Palantir, Amazon, Square, Tesla at new all-time highs, potentially. Square up 5% today, for example. And it might make sense to potentially at that point rotate out of some of the higher tech and get into the cryptos. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on. That's something I'm definitely keeping an eye on. If you are hodling Marathon, Riot, Coinbase, Bitcoin, you just want to be prepared to be holding banks for a little bit of time. But in my opinion, 2022 is the year of crypto. And I don't know when that breakout is going to happen, but I'm very, very bullish and optimistic about it. So very, very bullish long term. I just think we've got a pile of crap that we have to walk through first. Thanks, Maria, for the shout out there on the programs. So somebody here says they think Square is at its max potential. Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, Square's run up to 280 before, but it's never stayed there very long. Square is pricey. Square is more pricey than what was the last one? Oh, Airbnb. It's more pricey than Tesla. Square is a very pricey company. You have to really push the growth metrics to get the valuation that makes Square make sense. And so I have investments in Square. I'm not heavily invested in Square. I like to buy Square when it's under 200. That's a great place for me to enter. My basis is probably somewhere around 215 on Square, 215, 220, something like that. But once we get over 230, I'm done. I'm not adding to Square at least until the entire market moves more. There's still two other things that look too much like a good deal. For example, like with Neo, we bought this like crazy when it was in the 30s, 33 to 38 at $46. I'm not interested anymore. It's too much money for me. It's too expensive. Not interested. Not buying it. Apple pretty much has been flat for 6 months, so there's not a big surprise here. Do I think that Simon Property has reached its peak? I do believe that, and Simon's done very, very well, even on the day chart. It's done very, very well since November. It's done phenomenally. I mean, the biggest returns have come since November, which is great. I mean, we had vaccine news that pumped this up like 20 points, and it was straight out from there. I think Simon Property and David Simon, they've got a great company. They know what they're doing. They're going to survive. They got some of the biggest and best malls in the country. I personally believe that recovery trades are not where I want to be for the next 3 to 6 months. I believe the next 3 to 6 months, we're looking for that tech and consumer discretionary rotation back. And then when we take advantage of that, then I'm going to go bottom feeding again. And that could potentially be cryptos. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe by September, October, Bitcoin's 100K. That's fine. I'm still hodling a good chunk of my Bitcoin. But I do believe there's that chance. And it's fascinating that somebody pointed out the head and shoulders pattern, because it wasn't my basis, but it reaffirms a concern. Okay, Corsair rotating to the downside a little bit here into the close. Not a surprise to see Corsair move to the downside. It's very, very common to see Wall Street bets pump particular stocks that don't, in my opinion, have that longevity. And that shouldn't really be moving the way they are. I think Wendy's was one of those, and I think Corsair is going to be another one of those. And really what happens in this kind of scenario is you get the big pump sort of in at pre-market open. More people become aware. You get pumps, and then you get profit taking. You get very quick profit taking. You get occasional swings, but you get profit taking, and that's not bad. I mean, it makes people money. It's wonderful, right? But yes, some of them I don't know that they have the longevity that others should. AMC is obviously the long in the room. Exactly. AMC is the real play. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, look, I get there are arguments that can be made for Corsair being insanely undervalued. I personally don't believe it's insanely undervalued. I think it had an incredible valuation adjustment for COVID. I think it's done phenomenally for that. I don't know how much that's going to sustain going forward. It's possible. Look, it's a great company. I've got Corsair products myself, so don't get me wrong. But to me, like if I was going to invest in Corsair, I would rather invest in Google, because I see YouTube revenues as a massive catalyst, and I'm getting a similar forward PE. Is it Workhorse on the move? Here, I'll double check really quick. Workhorse moving to the downside. That's fine. When we get to that 14 level, maybe that's where I can go pick up some more. But right now, I'm not in Workhorse. So, for example, if I go Goog here, all right. So Google right now, let's look at the forward on this, and then we'll compare the Corsair. So Google on the forward is sitting at 188 EPS for 2025. That puts me at, it's pretty low, 13.3 times forward. And honestly, it's I don't even think Wall Street is properly baking in YouTube revenues or some of the other projects that they're working on. Wall Street's generally not very good at doing that. Corsair, I think Wall Street's going to be a lot better at with their estimates. This is at 4.2. Yeah, I mean, this is great. 37.18. Oh my gosh, it's selling for like 9 times 2025 earnings, which is really, really inexpensive, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, that, in fairness, Corsair, that is fundamentally cheaper than Google by a good few points. That's not bad. I wonder if did it recently just get even cheaper? But its growth rate fluctuates in interesting ways. You know, you had this phenomenal growth of 2020. You have a growth of 55 to 65% for 2020, 2021, and at least through the beginning of the year here so far. But we're really only expecting growth to probably average somewhere around 12%, which is still very good. We'll see how it does. Yeah, I mean, look, wonderful opportunity on Corsair. It's 17% short. Its forward PE is very, very low. We'll see how it does. I personally, again, would rather choose Apple. All right, so I don't know what Archon is. What's Archon? Don't be shy to answer people on the Archon talk. I haven't even seen anything about it. So let's see here. What do you say? Yeah, watch Lecture 1.0 for course member alerts. Lecture 1.0. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to the sticks and see what's happening here. Somebody's saying, is AMC breaking down? AMC's moved about 2% here to the downside. We do have a larger candlestick here. Sometimes this could be institutional money right here. That's a pretty big move in volume. That's an increase of about 1 million shares in the span of 1 minute here in volume. A 1 million share spike in volume all of a sudden here. That to me is that's institutional. That's big money taking profits on a big move today. Not a surprise. That is very, very typical, especially since momentum comes and goes. Okay, let's see what else we have. So then we've got Riot Blockchain. We've got Marathon. These guys rotating, slowly rotating down into the close. Same thing with Corsair. We've got Coinbase actually rotating up into the close. It's pretty powerful. I do think that Coinbase is at relative lows here. We've got, in my opinion, a nice sort of we've got nice support between that 220, the 208 range. The closer we are to this, the more I like buy. Even at 238, I think we're still pretty close. It is possible, though, that we end up getting some downside movement in the event that we get a Bitcoin winter, so to speak, or crypto winter, so to speak, and we end up pushing crypto and Bitcoin specifically here, down to that $19,000 to $21,000 range, which I think is going to be a shopping opportunity. Crypto is not going away. Crypto is here to stay. All right, then we've got $700 weekly Tesla calls. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Let's go ahead and take a peek here at Tesla. So we've got Tesla's up 1% here. That's a pretty range bound right now. We'll see what happens here with range bound with Tesla, but we do keep bouncing off the 580s over here. We've got our level set here. Next resistance is really at about that 667 level, followed by about 710. We'll see what happens if Tesla can get any kind of breakout here, but I still think it's going to be a few months before Tesla moves here. Missed a few streams. Let's see here. Someone says they missed a few streams. Anything on Doge? Yeah, I think Doge is something that I think has consolidated very nicely. Yeah, and some folks might say, what do you mean? Like Dogecoin is down? No, it's actually done very well. And if you look at Doge here, the fact that it hasn't fallen more is phenomenal. I mean, let's go to the week chart here. Yeah, I mean, this is actually too messy to look at the week chart. Let's zoom out a little bit more here. So this is obviously a consolidation pattern here where you get a momentum run, you get a peak media news event. Come on, we talk about this all the time in this channel here. Peak media, peak media, peak media. This was peak media right here. It's no surprise it was peak pricing. We literally talked about that over and over and over again before the media event. But anyway, the point is, look at where Doge was, right? At 0.04 or at half a penny, right? And we don't even have the data from before when it was at half a penny before this because Webull didn't start tracking it. But the fact that we got a consolidation around 32 cents, it's not bad. That's pretty good. Woo! Gotta get that coffee kicking in again. All right. Let's take a peek here to CNBC just for a brief moment. Let's see what they got, and we're gonna get ready for this closing bell.
You've done it in the future to turn this company around, but for the moment, shareholders obviously not happy with what happened over the past week. But, this is a wake-up call for investors in the sense of making sure you stick to your discipline and your fundamentals.
Mike, just very quickly, the encouraging thing is SPACs have cooled off significantly, but they haven't derailed the rest of the market, which could have been a fear when you saw how much money was going.
SPACs have not only cooled off, but they have been coming back, which is pretty neat, that we have seen a little bit of a revival here. Which is very exciting. I'm happy about that. Now, I do want to quickly mention, we're going to get into the sticks here. I do quickly want to mention that this video today is brought to us by Public. Today's sponsor is Public.com. It's an investing app where you can buy and sell stocks, follow investors, and share ideas. It's kind of cool. It's like a social media place. I almost kind of think of it like a really cool version of Twitter where people share their investing ideas. Super cool to follow there. I'm transferring more money over, and we're going to get some posts there, so make sure to follow me in the app at Meet Kevin. You could also follow users' portfolios. You could follow other people like my buddy Graham Stephan. I joined Public, so you can see my portfolio at meetkevin.com. Keep in mind, Public.com does not sell your data or information to third party or markets. And if you go to Public.com/meetkevin, you will get a totally free stock. So check it out, Public.com, download the app. And remember, you get a totally free stock if you go to Public.com/meetkevin, download the Public app, and then you can follow me at meetkevin to get a free stock as well. So thank you so much, and let's get back to the closing bell here. Let's go see what's going on with our closing sticks. Again, that's meetkevin.com/public or public.com/meetkevin. Both links work. We've got 2 minutes to the closing bell. We've got a little bit of weakness, a little bit of softness here on AMC, a little bit of rotating down. We've got head and shoulder pattern on Doge looks more traditional than the head and shoulder pattern on Bitcoin. Really? The Bitcoin one looks pretty defined. Dogecoin one here. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you want to call this the head, but I'm a little worried that this was a little too manipulated because this was a peak media event. The BTC one, I think, is a little bit more consistent, but I think you do have a point there. It certainly looks head and shoulder-ish, and after all, head should be higher than the shoulders, right? So if we zoom out over here, yeah, you've got kind of a fat head right here, and then you've got your left and right shoulders here, potentially. Maybe it's not, though, as humans, we like to interpret patterns sometimes when there are no patterns. So it's something very important to know. We do have a sell down on AMC right now, some profit taking going into the close. We just hit our VWAP. Looks like we might break below it. We've got that consolidation on Riot and blockchain, but Riot and Marathon rather, but they are holding. We've got Corsair also holding at about 11%. Coinbase actually still moving up into the close here. Big moves here on Coinbase. Did open a position on some Coinbase options this morning. There is more downside potentially over the next 6 months, but I've got myself 2023 calls, so I don't care. I'm diamond handing just like I'm diamond handing my AMC shares. Went to AMC by the way this weekend. Oh my gosh, those reclining chairs were so good. Oh, man, because there's one of those AMC IMAX theaters. They're so comfortable, so nice, and I got free popcorn when I showed them my stock. So good job, AMC. There we go. Here's the close. We can't hear a word they're saying because apparently CNBC still doesn't understand that we can't hear a word they're saying, so I'll do it. The Dow is down about 0.26%. The S&P 500 down 0.17%. The NASDAQ down, actually, I'm sorry, the S&P is up 0.19%. The NASDAQ is up 0.74%, and the Russell 2000 is down 0.41%. Dow ending down 0.25%. Sorry, Sarah, we couldn't really hear you there at the close along with your buddies, but we'll come back and check in with y'all in just a moment. We got the bell audio, and that's pretty much all we got. So let's go ahead and grab our or rather post-market data here. Zoom in together. We'll see what happens here in the post, but look at how the day ended up. We did very well on AMC, up 15.3%. If you are getting into options, the easiest way to diamond hand, folks, okay? I want to make this very, very clear. The easiest way to diamond hand is to hold shares if you want to be part of the movement. They're obviously high risk, high reward, right? If you want to be part of the movement, the easiest way to diamond hand is hold shares. Why, folks? Why? Because if you go for 1 week options, you will be much more likely to limit your losses on a red day and pay per hand because you have 1 week options. This is why I despise 1 week options. I make enough money going with 6-month options. I get very nervous with 1 week options. I'm not a good trader with 1 week options. I think I'm an excellent trader and very profitable trader with 6-month options. And this is something else, something we talk about as well in the course. You got to know what you're good at. You got to know what you're good at. If you're good at one thing, do it. You start expanding into shorter term options, very, very high risk, very high reward. But when you see your portfolio move or that move 40% in one direction in one day, you could get overconfident or you could get underconfident very, very quickly. So be careful with those weekly sorts of options. Now, thetas on AMC. You also have to be careful with the theta decay. Exactly. If you have 1 week options, theta is not your friend. You are losing multiple percentage points a day on those options, right? So you got to play those appropriately. Whereas if you have 6-month out call options, yeah, they're a little pricier to get in, but you don't even care about the theta, which is great. Kevin, please don't talk. I don't think anything that I've said is like Jim Cramer. Okay, maybe you could give me something particular here. Let's see. Somebody now we got Kick West here. Except 25% of your portfolio in derivatives in one stock makes no mathematical sense. Well, see, that's because you're wrong. You're wrong about what you're saying because 25% of my portfolio is not in Tesla options. I said 25% of my entire portfolio is in a variety of about 15 different option contracts. I would never have one stock be more than by choice, probably no more than 22% of my portfolio for one stock. That's probably the most that I would ever have, but certainly not all in derivatives. That's because my portfolio would always be 75-25, maybe 25% derivatives and 75% the actual shares. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what other potential opportunities we have here in the downside. We've got somebody here mentioning the course. Thank you so much for mentioning the course. Yes, you can still get that 40% off coupon code. Link down below. That is a June coupon code. Probably have an expiration, in like 10 days or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, take a peek at that link down below. You get lifetime access to the course content. So when I do upload more lectures, you get them. All right, so let's take a look at, I want to look at the losers for the day here. So we know Lordstown got wrecked. We did have a recovery going into the close. Did get featured there on CNBC as a little bit of an oversell, which is possible. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, it's moving nicely here in the afters. We've got, we had a previous low around 669. I'm a little concerned with Lordstown because you are in a situation where with Lordstown, you are expecting an equity raise or a money raise, which means more dilution for shareholders. So if we go down another 20% here, there could be an opportunity to buy this off some of the lows here. I don't know if we're going to revisit those lows, but hey, honestly, we didn't have the FUD that we have now, and we hit those lows. So it's entirely possible that we did have a momentum movement to the downside. Just like we have with Playboy right now. Playboy sitting at $41, but this is not that much of a movement here. We had our SPAC valuation from 10, skyrocket, soft consolidation here. That's barely down. So really, really nice pricing on Playboy. Too high for me to get in, but very nice. Skills had a negative day, down 7.54%. It's up from its lows around $12, $13, sitting around 20 right now. Mind Medicine had a rough day. Mind Medicine's been okay. A little bit of turbulence with the CEO stepping down, also coming as a large surprise. Churchill Capital down 4% today. Arcimoto down 4%. Plug Power 4%. We've got AMC up 15% on the day, which is phenomenal. We had our 3 days of consolidation last week, which we expected. And we talked about it multiple times last week. Talked about it the Friday before. Talked about it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It actually Monday, Tuesday, and then it happened Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And now we're back to recovery mode, which is wonderful. It's actually a very good testament to AMC stock, in my opinion, because the last thing you would have wanted was to see an up and then a down, 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 down. That would have been worst case scenario. Let's listen to CNBC for just a quick moment here.
The bond was a little bit baffling. I think a rally in the Treasury of this magnitude is a lot in the face of higher inflation, even if these...
Okay, yeah, we're just talking about SoFi here. So let's go ahead and hop back over here. So I actually believe this is a phenomenal test and this is my belief, that even though we saw consolidation coming, which is natural, we saw volume decline substantially. This right here was when I got nervous about a consolidation coming, and we saw that volume decline. We saw our consolidation. Now we're seeing a U-turn up. Very, very, very good for AMC. Happy about this because, again, it could have been much worse. We could have seen AMC drop down to our $28 support level. We did not have a full candlestick breakthrough on that 41 support level, and so we didn't even have to worry about that 28, which is phenomenal. Now we've broken above 51 again, and the sky is the limit at this point. Super exciting. This is a very, very good test for the longevity of AMC, keeping in mind that it is still a momentum play, so it is high risk, high reward. Coinbase sitting beautifully around the bottom. Good bounce off of here. Looking at other losers today, ArcLight, Line Electric. I'm getting a lot of folks asking me about the drone manufacturers. I'm staying away from the drones right now. I'm staying away from like the EHang and the Archer. I'm not very happy about Archer's sort of misleading connection with United. If you go through the United documents, it's a little misleading how United's partnership is actually formed. But we do have... we do have a future there, but I think it's a little soon for that right now. So then we've got, let's see here. Somebody's asking about Squarespace. Squarespace, I think, is a wonderful company. I use Squarespace to host my website. I've been using Squarespace for about 11 years, not consistently, but I started using them about 11 years ago. I went to PageLines until they started falling apart and they gave up on their platform. And then I went back to Squarespace. So, but yeah, phenomenal company. And it's one to keep an eye on. It's wonderful for website building. Wix is a perfect comp for them. So you could always compare to Wix for your valuation. So what else do we have here? Bed Bath, Roblox. Yeah, Roblox is in this period of consolidation again as well. I would be a little careful about Roblox potentially rotating back down to IPO pricing. If it does though, folks, if this goes back into that 60 to 70 range, I will buy. I will add, in fact, I'll draw right now. I will, if I could get Roblox, let's see. I'll grab resistance here, support here. It's a little tough one to draw. I mean, look, you've almost got a tiny little head and shoulders. It's not as clear as it could be. Yeah. Let's put it this way. If we get Roblox under 70 again, I'm willing to buy over here. Certainly under 65. This is where I think you have the least amount of risk at 65. But if we got down to these levels again, I think we've tested enough to know this could be an opportunity here at Roblox. Right now we're losing volume slightly, and so we're heading into a little bit of a rotation down. So, but right now it's too high for me to buy it at $90. That's with certainty. So in the after hours, we've got some movement here. We got Dave & Buster's moving 2.51%. Let me see quickly what the okay, NATO speech. There was breaking news, but it's about Biden and NATO. I did go to Dave & Buster's yesterday. Tell you, the place was packed. Not that that's any kind of not financial advice. Not that Dave & Buster's is visiting Dave & Buster's is any kind of actual due diligence. It's just anecdotal evidence, is what it is. But boy, Dave & Buster's was a blast to go back to Dave & Buster's. So very happy to see Dave & Buster's succeeding. And remember, they've got 3 incredible store models, small store models that could be anchors for bringing people back to what's it called? Oh gosh, back to malls. You need anchors. You need reasons for people to come back to malls. Enphase pretty much flat today. Pretty flat after hours as well. Lemonade lost a little bit today. Workhorse was down about 3% today. It's bobbing above our support line here of 14. So I'd probably wait a little bit more before it kind of opens on a Workhorse. And volumes plummeted here. You want to try to find these almost beforehand. Tesla a little soft here. Got Sens here. Sens lost a couple percent today, which is weird because I was pretty sure that Sens was kicking butt. Good for you, Sly, getting into the Dave & Buster's at $11. Yeah, I remember last summer we talked a lot about Dave & Buster's. I took my Dave & Buster's money and I threw it into Tesla after some movements. And there was a period of time that there were concerns about Dave & Buster's going bankrupt, but you have to admit the money that got pumped into the economy really helped. So it's been incredible. So it gets packed for fight nights and big games. Yeah, no kidding. And I was there yesterday at like 2 p.m. So, you know, it's but yeah, Dave & Buster's is it's really a wonderful place actually to have a fight night, because kids can go play and adults can go drink. It was part of my original investing thesis for buying them in the first place. I think it's a phenomenal company. I've done a lot of research on them. I think their management could be better. I got very disappointed when they started talking about some of the things they were thinking about doing during COVID to get people back. I think that they could have done way better. So it's not a stock that I'm with right now. But hey, look, you know, it's still a company that I support. All right. I keep getting questions about VRM. I don't know anything about VRM. Vroom, VRM, it's down 6% in the after hours. Okay. You know, let's go take a look at this. Let's see if there's any particular news as to why this is happening. VRM, USX. Let's go here, individual co-news. Keep in mind, by the way, this video is sponsored by Public today, which if you go to the link down below, you'll see a link for Public. If you sign up, download the app, you get totally free stock. Go to public.com/meetkevin. Totally free. It's right next to the link to check out my courses on building your wealth, link down below. Looks like Vroom filed to sell $500 million in convertible senior notes due in 2026. So you've got a debt offering here. All right, that makes sense for Vroom. Yeah, Public's a really cool app. If you haven't tried it yet, at least get the free app. Go to meetkevin.com/public or public.com/meetkevin, whatever. It's the same thing. Yeah, I know if people don't like the food at Dave & Buster's. I know. They could fix that. You know, that would be a priority if I were them. You know, you got to get like cheesecake level food. Ooh, and the entertainment factory. Yeah, come on, man, they'd bankrupt Cheesecake Factory. Now they won't. But you can put a Dave & Buster's everywhere a cheesecake is. And if you had the same quality food, man, that'd be a money machine right there. Drunk Chuck E. Cheese, yeah. All right. So what else we got here? All right. So after hours, not terribly much movement here. Yeah, it's really the day chart that was interesting today, what we had happen on the day. AMC, obviously, very strong movement today. A lot of excitement coming into AMC today. I believe there are plenty of reasons to be invested and to be part of the momentum movement, as long as you know that it's momentum. And I know it's fun to say all in, but I generally don't recommend people go all in on one stock. So, all right, what else do we have here? Ubiquity at 320 again. Yeah, 275 is cheap. Yes, you can buy alcohol at Chuck E. Cheese, and they went bankrupt. What's your well, they're going through bankruptcy. What's your opinion on being a full-time day trader and relying 100% on that as a source of income? Well, hey, if you could pull it off, you got the rest of the day off. Why not? Actually, if you're in Germany, I guess you'd get to do whatever you want at the early part of the day. And then do your trading towards the end of the day and go to sleep. So it's kind of interesting, but hey, why not? Why not? All right, what else we got? Yeah, so I'm gonna watch for some potential bounces here. Certainly, I want to keep an eye on Workhorse. Churchill, we really got to get to production here. Skills is still pretty short. Arcimoto, whew. Time for a second coffee cup. I'm only on half cup today, but anyway, especially after traveling this weekend, that's probably a mistake. Gotta get some more coffee. But also lemonade here, sitting at 104. Lemonade has some squeeze potential. I think this could easily get back to that 120, 140 range. Fisker's soft. Could be better. The last 10 days have been pretty good for Fisker. It's come back up from like $10. So, I mean, we've almost got a double here on Fisker in the last 10 days. But going forward, you always got to look forward, not backwards. Going forward, I don't know. It's going to take a big movement to try to push it back over 24. It's kind of like a Microvision, where it's kind of pricey right now for where it is. Kind of late in that swing game, so to speak, right? So we'll see what happens. Somebody here says they're in Workhorse at $9. Good for you. That's awesome. Very, very awesome. Awesome. Chip shortage is getting much worse. Taiwan shut down the only full operational manufacturer over the weekend. Going to affect a lot of tech. Oh, it's not so good. Disney's great. Yeah, Disney's another wonderful recovery play, although I do wonder how much recovery has been already built into this. And it's going to take a while to get back to full capacity on those cruise ships. So, all right, folks. Well, that's the update for today. Check out those courses down below. Make sure to go to public.com/meetkevin to get a totally free stock. As always, make sure to diamond hand whatever your strategy is. Your strategy does not have to agree. Your strategy does not have to be the same as mine, and it shouldn't be. Do whatever you want, but be strong with your high conviction plays. Thanks so much for being here, supporting. Consider subscribing to the channel if you have not yet. The more you subscribe to videos like this, the more I know by looking at my analytics, this is the kind of stuff y'all want. All right, folks. Thanks again. Bye.